Hi everyone, and welcome to Achieve at Home. My name is Gina Pongetti Angeletti, one of the owners at Achieve Physical Therapy. I am proud to have you guys with us today and glad that you're taking an interest in your health at home, and especially the dreaded rolling that nobody likes to do but is so amazing. With me today, I have one of my head staff PTs, Hayley Charlton, and she is going to help us walk through rolling as well. We're going to go through quads, IT bands, calves, glutes, and a little bit of spine. Of course, you can always do forearms and chest and everything else too, but these are kind of your big five hitters. So why do we roll, Hayley? What's the main purpose behind rolling?
So we're working on addressing some of those myofascial connections between our skin, the deeper layers, and our muscles. So we're working on not just squishing the muscles down and getting really tight on them, but we're working on kind of that transition period between the skin and our muscles.
So when we roll, it hurts a little bit because we are essentially using our body weight to smash things. We don't necessarily want more pain to be better. Some people roll on dumbbells and they really cause themselves a pretty significant amount of pain that causes bruising. Rolling should be flushing. It should help with lymphatics. It should help lengthen. It also helps with recovery because it helps to get some of the lactic acid and some of the things built up in the muscle out. And in general, the more pliable your muscles are, the more flexible they are. So if you've been having some problems with flexibility in general, we want to just make sure that everyone understands that flexibility is a combination of your joint wanting to move, your muscle allowing you to move, the ligaments and the fascia and the connective tissue letting the motion happen, and your brain not guarding the motion because it's scared that you're going to hurt yourself as well. Okay, so Hayley's going to get started with quads, and I'm going to follow it up with hamstrings and IT bands.
So first we're going to start with rolling your quads. We've got a wide variety of options you can use. So we've got this smaller roller, we've got the bigger foam roller.
Easiest,
most squishy, then we're moving on to a slightly more sturdy surface. And then this one is the toughest, and it's a pretty solid surface that you could be rolling your quads.
Smaller circumference, so it hurts just a little bit more.
So we'll start with this one. You're going to place this on the ground, and then you're going to get your quad onto the foam roller. So you will start by placing your leg on there, and then kind of rolling back and forth along the length of your quad.
Now notice she's doing one leg at a time, the other one's just kind of coming along for the ride. She can hike this one up like she's climbing too. Put it on the ground to stabilize yourself, yep, to kind of help. If her elbows hurt, she can always come up on her hands. There's lots of different options. Or she can make it worse by crossing the leg over and putting all the weight on just one.
On one leg. So if you find a good spot where you feel a little extra tightness in through there, you can then work on bending your leg across that part. So you're still getting some of that active motion and stretching over it. It's not just a static compression on the muscle.
5 bends in 5 different places. Notice how slow she's bending. Then she's going to move her body to a different place. Doesn't matter which place. Remember to get all the way right to above your knee and all the way above. Yep, and then she's going to bend it 5 times in 5 places. So the next thing she's going to do is a windshield wiper.
So we'll move on to wipers. So you're going to find that spot again, and then you're just going to rotate outwards and then inwards across that spot. And again, making sure you're working your way through the entirety of the muscle and not just staying in one spot. So rotating in and outwards, nice and slow, not rushing through, but not holding for too long.
5 times, again, 5 places. Perfect.
So those are quads.
So in order to get to your hamstrings, the bigger rollers really usually don't work really well. We carry a lot of fat or adipose tissue in the back of our hamstrings, and it's really difficult to put a lot of pressure on the back. So your choices, technically, are the little guy or the big guy. We use this for a lot of our major league pitchers, a lot of our high school athletes, little kids with calf issues, or if you have this and it's easier to carry with you, you can also stick the wheel in your hamstring. I'm going to use the Trigger Point Quad Baller for now. So what you're going to do, your hamstrings are the muscles in the back of your leg. They connect all the way up to your sit bones, all the way down below your knee. They bend your knee, they extend your hip, and they're active in everything. And when they're tight, they really do cause an issue. If you roll on the actual flat part of the roller, you might get a little bit of lymphatic out of it, but not very much. So you're going to stick the wheel in your hamstring. Now, if I put this wheel on, it's going to flip. So what I'm going to do is I'm rolling this hamstring, but I'm just going to have this leg here to make sure that the roller doesn't flip. As I lift up, the actual wheel is in my hamstring, and I'm going from glute all the way to my knee, and I'm gonna do multiple different places, and then I'm gonna flip the roller, and I'm gonna do in 5 different places. I'm gonna go in and out on the hamstring. Then I'm gonna move, and I'm gonna go in and out across the hamstring. It doesn't feel very good at first, so make sure you vary how much weight you put on. IT band, this is mean. So we're gonna start with the orange one. If it's really sore, you guys should start with the black roller or your traditional white rollers. Either way, you're going to get onto your side. You're gonna cross your leg over for stability, and you're just gonna shimmy yourself from your knee all the way to your hip. Don't go over your bursa on your hip. It's gonna hurt a little bit, and don't go past your knee joint. Again, just like Hayley described, you can go down to your elbow, which is more pressure, or you can go up. This leg stays for stability. You're gonna bend 5 times in 5 places, and as you do that, you're really gonna feel it moving underneath you. You can as well with the IT band do a little bit of roll back and forth so that you can rock on to the front and the back part of the IT band. Okay.
So next we'll move on to calves, and you have the option of this kind of a roller, that kind of a roller, or the ball. So we'll start with this kind of roller. Again, you can use either the support with your other leg flat on the ground and rolling your calf, or you can cross your legs and put that extra pressure through the calf. And you want to make sure you're rolling all the way through the muscle. So starting up at your knee and rolling down to where your tendon starts to combine with the muscle. So here you can do the same things. You can make it a little bit more active. If you find a good spot, then you can start by pointing and flexing your toe and getting a good stretch over that muscle. Again, adding extra pressure if you need to with that leg crossed over.
If you want a lot of extra pressure, you can bend your knee and put the bottom of your shoe on your shin as well. And then as you lift up, that's a great amount of pressure on there.
So you, after the roller, you can try the trigger point balls.
You want to rock back and forth on the roller too.
So you can also do rocking, so more of a windshield wipery motion. Again, so we're rolling inwards and outwards. Again, picking 5 different places and doing 5 reps on each spot. So now we can move on to the balls. So you have this here. You're going to take one on the underside and one on the upper end. So you're going to place it in between kind of the meat of your muscle here, underneath, and then you're going to take the other one and place it directly over the top. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your hands and then squish the muscle in between the 2 trigger point rolling balls. So you can do that, and you're going to kind of roll over the area. You can find a nice trigger point like I have right here, and then you can move on to different areas by moving the ball and then squishing down in different places.
Hayley can also vary how she's sitting, and she can also take her back leg and almost sit in a cheerleader position so that she can lean in a little bit. The goal of this is to get behind the calf muscles to those little ones that really cause you essentially fake shin splints or the posterior tib tendonitis, that flexor hallucis muscle, which is really important. Okay, we're moving on to glutes. So this is a quite large version of the trigger point ball. We can use the smaller one as well. Vary how you're doing this based on how you feel. Simply just put the ball underneath your glutes, and you can roll in circles. You can go back and forth. If you put a paper plate or a glider underneath your leg, you can actually take your leg and move your leg while you're rolling. Again, the more I let go, the more pressure there is. You can find your SI, or the base of your joint, and just go up and down on the side of it. You can lift and lower while you're doing it, and really just get into the depths of it. Something big like this or small, in between your pubic bone, your belly button, and your hip bone, you can also lay onto it and let everything in your psoas and your hip flexor relax out. You can do things like climbing, you can do little jumping jacks, you can bend and straighten, or you can just kind of move your body around so that you get a good stretch onto that hip flexor. Last but not least,
we can do the spine. So this is a double roller ball, trigger point rolling ball. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the ball and you're going to place it on your spine. You don't want to put it directly onto the pointy parts of your spine. You want that to go in between the 2 balls.
You can make one of these at home by putting 2 regular lacrosse balls, tennis balls, or trigger point balls inside of a tube sock, and then just simply taking rubber bands on either side, or take 2 tennis balls and athletic tape them together, and then just tape the middle so that there is a cleavage between the 2.
So you will take your 2 trigger point balls and put them in between And you're going to kind of use your own body weight to put pressure through the trigger point balls, and then you can roll your way all the way up and really work those muscles right along your spine that are often very tight after we've done lots of exercise. So you can roll all the way up to your spine.
Supporting your head, lifting your glutes up.
All the way down. Making sure you're supporting your head, and you can add that little extra pressure by lifting your bottom from the mat or the floor, wherever you're performing this exercise, and making sure you're rolling across. If you find a good spot, you can do a little bit of an extension. Again, we don't want the extension only coming from your low back, really trying to isolate it to that area that you're currently working on. So getting a little bit of an extension, a little extra pressure through that area.
If you have pain on one side, you can focus on one side or another, but it's really best to do both at the same time so it doesn't throw you off. So in general, your long foam roller, your big grid, you have a big ball, we have trigger point quad baller, we have the TP therapy smaller, we have the individuals, and we have the double sets, right? There are plenty of products out there. Please, if you have softballs, tennis balls, lacrosse balls, paddle tennis balls at home, use whatever you have, but just make sure that you incorporate this into your routine to make you feel better. Happy rolling, thanks, and be well.